Okay, perfect. I guess we're live now. So again, for all the folks who are here for the first time, the idea is to go to certain topics regarding customer service, certain issues people are experiencing with the service. How do we handle them? Sometimes we do short tutorials on things like in previous 2 weeks. This week is going to be a little bit different, but I promise you I'm going to go back to normal on the next week. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go to support contacts. So the idea generally is to provide people with as much different contact tools and channels as possible. However, some contact tools and channels have their own limitations, and that is why we kind of divided some issues in terms of where do you go for what, etc. I'm just breaking things down for you guys. So every Thursday, the idea is to just go through a breakdown for like 30 or 45 minutes. Actually, 45 minutes may be a bit too much for this topic. This is going to be way quicker, I believe. And then we can go through the full Q&A. If anybody wants to share something, anybody wants to ask a question, share something with the others and all that stuff. So it's pretty much a free ride. Okay. Now, just a second. I hope everybody sees the screen now. Again, one of my lazy presentations made in 5 minutes. So again, this is something. Yeah, this is something I'm trying to make like some sort of a personal mark, if you will. Anyway. Now let's get a bit more serious. So yeah, it says support channels and how to use them. Most of you know that you can communicate with both NetLeaders and DOS Wallet support through email and chat. However, there are 2 more channels. And what we do is that, again, we're dividing certain topics per certain communication channels. So we have now email and chat. Now we have a phone. Actually, we're in the latest stages of the setting up the phone support. The numbers are ready, the agents are ready, the offices are ready, the infrastructure is ready. We're just tweaking some things up. Unfortunately, we should have done this like some 5 to 6 days ago. Again, if I can kindly ask everybody to mute their microphone, and then you can use the raise hand option if you wish to ask a question. Thank you. Anyway, so the phone will be only and exclusively used for Alliance Pay support. I'm going to talk about it a bit later. And now we have a passive option, if you will, which is, let's call these 3 active support options, like active contact options. And the 4th one is knowledge-based or the passive option. The tendencies in customer service in the latest, like in the last, let's say, 2 to 3 years or so, is self-service. People are using mobile phones for the last, 15 years, right? But the phones are getting more and more and more powerful. And majority of things we do them via cell phone, right? So previously I could just send SMSs through my cell phone. I could just send email. Then I started chatting. There are so many channels for chat available now. So, but the newest thing is that, people wish to actually use self-service. It's like we're making that big circle, and this is the thing. Can you please mute the microphone? I appreciate that. What people are doing is that, okay, here we go. Okay, sorry about that. So what we are doing is that we're making like a full circle. Customer service started like since the trading started. And then in America, phone support was a very big deal, especially in the 50s, then 60s. Like North America is specific for that because people really like and want to have a telephone number of the service they're using. And now it seems that we're making that full circle. We're going at the starting point where people want self-service. People want to read tutorials. People want to use, articles, want to watch videos. There are so many videos on YouTube regarding anything. You probably know that if you go to YouTube and you try to search something, you will literally find a tutorial for everything. And I really mean everything. Probably not for how to make a nuclear bomb, but let's just give it a bit more time. That will certainly happen. Here at Tech Solutions, what we want to do is that we want to try to make a system that works for everybody. And that's not a small feat. So what we want to do is that we want to provide you guys with both things. So, you know, you can use the support channels for active usage, like for active contact, or you can use the knowledge base. My personal impression is that not a lot of people know about the knowledge base in the first place, ergo not a lot of people use it, but that's something I'm going to show you at the end of today's presentation. So when emailing support, we have three email, three email addresses. I'm sorry, can everybody see the slides clearly? All good? Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, so here's the thing. So obviously we have support at NetLeaders.com, we have support at daswallet.com, and we have info at alliancepay.io. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, this current slide is only showing the email addresses. Perfect. Thank you. So let's go briefly through that. Yeah, but Francis doesn't see it. Okay, you may try, sorry, Francis, you may practically try to, oh, okay, great, thank you, even better. Okay, so here we go. So the idea of the NetLeaders support team. Now, let me get one thing, just come out of it for you guys again to be certain what's going on. For NetLeaders and DOS Wallet, this is practically the same group of people. Okay, so this is the same office, the same folks who do all the NetLeaders issues you have is the same group of people who will do the DOS Wallet issues. So they are both trained on both things equally. Some are experts in one thing, some are experts in the other. However, the team is unified in that sense. The Alliance Pay team is completely limited, and I'm going to talk about it a bit later. So the Alliance Pay team is completely limited, as well as the KYC team for both services. Yeah, I know we like to make things a bit less simple than usual. You all know that, but you know, everybody's getting along that, so we have a good laugh at least. Anyway, so NetLeaders support team is available obviously at support@netleaders.com, and the chat box, which you can find when you go to netleaders.com, and then on the lower right corner of your screen, you will see the option that says need help. So what do those guys do for you? Any kind of questions regarding license purchases or how a license works, how does minting work, you know, how does the whole process of creating Dogecoin in the end actually work? So that's sort of a general info. If people have the issue and experiencing any kind of an issue when they're trying to purchase the license, there is actually a separated billing team that only does the stuff of a monetary nature. So if you have any kind of an issue there, when you send us an email or go to a chat, that request will be transferred to them. Some of you probably noticed that because when you go to our email and send us a message and you say that something is wrong with the payment or something is pending or the BTC address is not valid and what have you, whatever, you probably noticed that folks, the first thing they will tell you, they're going to tell you that they're escalating the ticket to the billing team, which is the team that actually has the credentials to see all the data, because that's sensitive data. That's not for everybody. So as always, as all the speakers on all the events are keep on repeating, safety and security is at the #1 top priority for us. Okay, then goes registration and logins. How do you register to NetLeaders? How do you log in? All the issues with the password resets, you know, all the stuff with the credentials, with your username. Again, the commission. Calculation of your bonuses, your binary tree, your organization, all that stuff, your payouts, your pains. However, of course, payouts and pains via NetLeaders as a platform. So all those questions are the questions that NetLeaders support team is answering to. We have a shop, of course, on the NetLeaders website. How do you purchase a validator? How do you purchase magazines? You go to the NetLeaders support team when you purchased your event tickets, or you have a general question regarding the next event. You guys probably noticed that. I mean, a lot of people actually already do all this. I'm just trying to break down and make sure that this goes out to the field. All those requests are, again, handled by NetLeaders support. And of course, last but not the least, getting your way around NetLeaders website. So what does what, what pressing which button will cause a certain action, right? So how do you use the NetLeaders website, all the general information? Of course, and I'm gonna just give one exclamation mark here. It is perfectly fine and perfectly possible to ask any kind of a general question to either support@netleaders.com or support@daswallet.com. Okay, so we don't limit you. It's not like, okay, you send the NetLeaders question to a support@daswallet.com, nobody's going to answer you because we're offended. That never happens, right? We're just going to transfer that to the department. Again, the same group of people is doing that, so it's perfectly fine. Sometimes it may take a little bit more time to answer a certain inquiry, but in practice, I'm talking about minutes, so it's pretty much irrelevant in that sense, right? So, again, that was for the NetLeaders. It's perfectly, again, fine. It's again perfectly fine. Sorry, just to, can I just please ask everybody to mute their microphones so we can, go through this process together, or I can do that for you. Okay, thank you. So, Das Wallet support. Again, the same group of people available at support@daswallet.com. Currently, there is no chat box. Probably you people noticed that there is no chat box on the Das Wallet website. This is something is going to be fixed very, very soon. Very soon. I mean next week. Okay. What do we do with the Das Wallet support team? Again, very similar to NetLeaders, creation of the Das Wallet, verification and validator setup and updates. Here's the deal. The Das Wallet team goes through the whole verification process. So everybody knows that in order to use your Das Wallet to go through trading and all that good stuff, we need to go through KYC verification. We need to set up our validator. We need to purchase it first, obviously. We need to set up our validator. These people are helping you if you experience any kind of an issue when it comes to updating your validator. You saw that a couple of updates came in the last couple of months. So all those inquiries come here. Again, everything Das Wallet related, how to trade on the internal Das Wallet exchange, how to send funds on the external markets. And here's one very and extremely important point. When it comes to any kind of an issue, our friend Alvin had the similar situation. That's what we talked about at the beginning today. When it comes to the issue with transferring of the funds to an external market from your Das Wallet, we will make sure to do literally everything that's possible from our end for you. However, somewhere along that route, it may be very possible that there is nothing we can do. I personally am not a fan of that word, but unfortunately that exists. So it will happen that we don't have the tools or the access to the certain information because the issue lies with the external market of any kind. I'm sorry, the external exchange actually. Then we will have to transfer the issue to them. So by all means, please be advised that every time we actually tell you guys, this is something we are unable to handle, please contact them. What we can do for you is to provide you with the information that can help them to resolve the issue for you. This is not our ill intention in any way. We're not trying to remove ourselves from the issue. On the contrary, we establish some sort of a reputation with the field. And our idea is to keep that reputation at a high level. So, for example, the good example of that are the external markets indeed, where certain issues are handled that way. It's the very same thing with Berkeley as well. That's one of the examples how that may work as well. So again, at some point of that way, we are literally unable to do anything more apart from providing you with the info that can help you with the external support team. And of course, we will always very clearly specify what is possible with the external support team of some other service we're linked with and what is possible with us. Okay, validator shopping, an extremely popular topic. Unfortunately, not because of the good reasons, but this is something we are slowly and finally fixing, I hope. And in the future, that will work way, way better than in the previous months. But again, any kind of a shopping issue or a question or an inquiry, it doesn't have to be, you know, it doesn't have to be an issue. It can just be a simple question. Hey guys, can I do this or that? By all means, send us an email, right? And again, of course, payouts and payments via DAS Wallet naturally. And at the end, general info and how to use the DAS Wallet page. Now, we are not, we don't have the credentials to give you the advice about the trading itself. Okay, so we're not that kind of I mean, we're just the support team. We can explain to you, because it will be a conflict of interest in a way. We can explain to you how the trading works, but we are not in a position to tell you when to trade, what to trade in, and which amounts. I hope that kind of goes without saying, but I think it doesn't hurt to mention. The very same thing goes with bonuses and purchasing of licenses. That's why the marketing, you know, the marketing system we use exists, right? That's why the field exists. That's why the binary tree exists, because those people, actually our leaders, of course, and our advocates and people who do that amazing job are, of course, here to do the sales, right? So that will be kind of a conflicting thing, you know. So that's why we avoid to do any kind of a sales or pre-sales things ourselves. What we can do for you is to explain you how things work, you know. So if people send you what is, you know, when people send the email saying, guys, what is DASCoin, we will absolutely explain what is DASCoin, but we will never push you to sale, because again, it doesn't work that way. This is why this business is a kind of a specific, at least for me, because I come from the IT industry where things are not working in marketing wise in that way. I got used to it, I liked it, so, but I just want to clarify the differences. Okay. Okay, just one moment. Yeah, okay, there are a couple of points right now in the chat box. Okay, for Billy, please do, absolutely. Again, this is my email address. I'm just going to type it down for everybody. I'm just going to type it down for everybody in the chat box. That is true, David Warner. That is very true. But that is why we're going to use knowledge base more aggressively. That comes next. That comes next. Yes, it is also correct that sometimes. Yeah. That's the next topic. I'm just going to go there. Why do we send those reminders? Okay, somebody is not hearing me correctly. Can you hear me better now? Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna answer all the other questions as well. Now, we have Alliance Pay, obviously. As for the, I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. As for the Alliance Pay, now we have the email address info@alliancepay.io, or you can try with support@alliancepay.io. Yes, it is very true that currently we only have one tutorial, which you can see on your DAS Wallet page as well, right? And as the service, that's something we talked about last week, but I'm just going to briefly repeat it. As the service grows in number of people using it, of course, we will grow with the available tutorials and all that stuff. Phone is coming, so does the winter, and the idea will be indeed to, you know, try to, I'm sorry. The idea will be to try to make as much as possible from the phone. Now, here's the thing. The telephone itself will be possible to be used only and exclusively when you are having any kind of an issue actually with the Alliance Pay itself. Sorry, just one moment. Okay. Again, for these stoppages, but again, it's extremely important for everybody. Okay, we're just going to set it up to be for everybody to be muted next time. Again, the telephone can be used for only Alliance Pay and DOS Pay issues as such. That means that the team, which I mentioned at the start, the team that does the Alliance Pay and DOS Pay in the future, of course, issues, will be the team that's completely, actually it already is limited. So those are completely different people, completely different system, completely different credentials. There's a reason for that, because at one point you need to compartmentalize, if that's the word. You need to break teams down to smaller units to reach more effectiveness. And of course, the existence of the phone then dictates you need to create different offices, different working space because of the silence, of the isolation, all that stuff. Point is, that's all prepared, but again, I just need to give you, to give everybody a heads up. If somebody calls on the phone for the Alliance Pay and asks a NetLeaders questions, those people will not be able to help you out. So this is, again, we're not cutting any kind of a communication. That's literally completely different team, a completely different support, and they will then transfer and forward you back to the relevant team, whether that's a DOS Pay or it's a NetLeaders. I'm just giving you a heads up, just for, you know, to avoid future possible frustration or miscommunication on any sorts. Okay. Kind of lost it? Okay, and then, yeah, another point regarding KYC. Arthur just mentioned KYC process. The KYC is only, when you go to a live chat and you ask about the KYC, the only thing, due to GDPR and all the compliance stuff and the security stuff, the only thing we can tell you via chat is whether the specific person, or actually the account, if you will, is or isn't KYC verified. Okay, so there are literally only two scenarios. Hi, can I know the status of Pavle Lekic KYC? And the support person says, yes, this KYC, I mean, this account is KYC verified. You're free to use everything from now on. You're good to go. Or the KYC verification is not complete and you receive the email with a further instruction. I don't want to dwell too much on it, but again, please do follow the instruction from the email. Please do not upload your personal documents on the chat. We cannot receive that through GDPR, and that creates a lot of legal trouble. And at the end of the day, it isn't safe, right? So we live in a computer age. It's 2018. Machines are smarter than people. Machines are going to probably very soon figure out they're smarter than people, and then we have a Terminator situation. Meanwhile, let's make sure that, you know, all the security is set in place as such. Okay. For Arthur, just to finish up, when submitting the documents, PDFs are rejected. That's something we covered, I think, last week. But I think there's a recording for folks who didn't hear that. So PDFs are being rejected because we cannot accept a PDF. We can accept PNG and we can accept JPEGs, of course. If it happens that the JPEG is not accepted, advise your downlines and your clients to make sure the pictures are not cropped, they're not black and white, and they actually consist the info we request. Okay. So, okay, I guess that covers it now for now. I'm just gonna, of course, I'm gonna answer all the questions later. Now, regarding news, we have news regarding chat tool. Next week, we're gonna completely change the tool we're using to chat with you guys. This means the chatting with agents will become a bit more effective. I'm sorry. It will become a bit more effective. The issues will be solved way easier, and we're gonna implement a chatbot. Okay, we're gonna implement machines. This is the reason why we're gonna do this. So when you start the chat with us, you know, the machine is gonna actually answer your question, but the machine is gonna only ask a couple of typical questions, just, you know, for you to share your email address, for you to share the inquiry, and then the chat will be transferred to actually a human agent, right? The machine will probably give you the option or recommend you to try with the knowledge base article. If that doesn't work at any point in time, you can go to a live agent. So there are two basics of the new chatting philosophy. First is you will always know when you're chatting with the machine and when you're chatting with a human, right? And the second one is you will always have the options, the option available to go to a human agent. So we don't want to do something that a lot of big corporations and companies are doing, which I personally despise. You have a certain, let's say you have a certain very big company that sells cell phones, laptops, they have a fruit as a logo. So what they do is that they claim they have a 13 or 12 seconds response time on chat, but you need literally 15 minutes to go to the chat with the actual person on that website, on their website. I'm not into it. Our founders and board of directors are not into it, very much so into the human contact, you know, doing things right the way they're supposed to be done. So even though the chatbot will greet you initially and collect the info, the reason again why we're doing it to be more effective, to receive as many inquiries as possible, and and to again be efficient. That's why we're implementing this. And then it may turn out that the bot can help you with the article, but if you're not, don't agree with that kind of a communication, you're absolutely and perfectly fine and allowed and encouraged to go to the live agent. So that's the news. That's the news for now. And hopefully that stuff will go live somewhere in the middle of the next week. Again, we set the system up. We're in the final stages of testing it. It looks good. However, we just need to do a little bit of tweaking. The guys are trained in using the tool, and I hope it will be live somewhere around next week this time. Okay. Yes. All these sessions are all these sessions are recorded and are recorded on the cloud of Zoom.us. So I'm just going to check with Debbie how to share that link. And if you ask me, you're absolutely welcome to share this. If you find it useful, of course, to share it as much as possible. By all means, please do. You're doing us a great favor. So it's going to be, we're going to make sure this is available again to the masses, as they say. Okay, and finally, we have a knowledge base. Now, again, I hope everybody sees this screen. It should be visible. This is the NetLeaders knowledge base. So let me just lower this screen for you just for 1 second. I'm going to share the link to our knowledge base right here. It says NetLeaders. It says NetLeaders in the extension in the link itself. However, it covers pretty much everything. Okay, here we go. So the knowledge base is practically a bunch of tutorials you guys may use or may share whenever you wish to. So it's, again, broken down by general topics. So, for example, you know, you got your DAS wallet, you got your KYC, you got your NetLeaders, the validator stuff, you know, DAS wallet. Oh, I'm sorry. This is not the, okay, we're live here. Yeah, this is actually how the knowledge base works from our end. So I'm not hiding actually anything. This is the internal knowledge base, because the knowledge base works so good that we decided to create one for us. So that when the agents are working, they actually have their own procedures. How do they do the job? So, but because I'm logged into my own profile here on the help desk, that's why it is displaying this message. Okay, hope that kind of breaks it down. But for example, let's say you want to know something about the validator. You know, you obviously come in, and then you have here the list of the articles currently available for the validator. Now, here's one very important point. We are constantly updating all the articles when some changes arrive, or we are adding new articles. We will never erase an article from the knowledge base except when something becomes completely obsolete, right? So if we would shut down some option, which we don't ever do though, but if we would shut down some option, only then we will remove the knowledge base article. Our main focus and main interest is to have as much knowledge as possible there. So There are FAQs, for example. These are the most common questions, but let's try with something different. Let's try with the, how to change your PIN on your validator. So this is how the knowledge-based articles work. They work, sorry. You can check the related articles to this very subject on your right-hand side. You can print them, and we base them on a text, text and pictures. These beautiful fingers and fingernails are one of our colleagues, actually. So we did these pictures here together one day. And the idea is to have a step-by-step explanation, and that every step is covered with a picture, so you choose a security, you have to choose this change PIN, could choose a new PIN code. So literally everything that is in text should be in pictures as well. You can now vote up or vote down if you find the article itself helpful. And of course, we always have a reminder where to contact us at the end of the video. Of course, we absolutely welcome feedback. So you have a feedback on an article, or you believe that we should create an article of a specific topic we didn't, and you believe this is needed, by all means, do please send us an email to any of the two. So whether it's a support supported us wallet, doesn't matter. If you feel that the article could be helpful, by all means, please do. Now, again, in order to avoid confusion as much as possible, we all know how the system works. So we have our advocates, we have our sponsors, people who do marketing, who are out there in the field doing the hard work, right? You guys use a lot of documents. You guys have your own documents and your presentation tools in the back office, whether that's a white paper, a presentation, all that stuff, that was put together by Adam, James, guys from London. The way we support you is from the troubleshooting side, okay? So we jump in when something is malfunctioning. We're the car mechanic. Those guys are the salespeople, practically, and we're the mechanics. So we jump in where something is malfunctioning. In that sense, you may use this link. I just posted it in the up there. You will find it now in the chat box. You may use this link as much as you wish. You can share it everywhere. The idea is to spread it out there as much as possible. And again, every feedback on the matter is more than welcome. I have one good example about the feedback itself. For example, you know that when you send an email, but then you receive a message saying that you will receive the response from us when first available agent, comes online or takes over the ticket. You have that, automated email. For example, Arthur had an excellent idea. Why not sharing the knowledge-based article with that automated email, which absolutely made perfect sense. And I'm kind of jealous I didn't remember it first, but the point is the idea was great. You get your automated message. Oh, by the way, you can try to find the answer here. If you don't find it, it's perfectly fine. We will still respond to the inquiry as such. Those are great ideas. Those are ideas we, appreciate so much, because we're all in this together, and this is how we can develop in order to provide even a better service. Okay. Okay, let me just now scroll down through the questions. Yes, it may happen that you are fully KYC pending, fully KYC verified, as Linda says, but the documents show as pending. Those are the glitches which are in the back office, and that's something that developers are refreshing and fixing. So if you get the info that you are good to go, you are definitely good to go. Okay. Yes, there is a point about the recording of the setting up the validator. This is something, yeah, okay, yeah, perfect. Again, agree with Linda. You can go to chat and ask, for help if you get stuck in the some part of the some part of the setup of the validator itself. This is my suggestion, actually, the idea. Let's say you're experiencing some sort of an issue when you're setting up a validator, right? If possible for you, use your cell phone when you're chatting with us, because imagine the scenario. You need your screen to see what's happening, on your dashboard. Now you have your validator in your hands. Instead of chatting on the laptop or a desktop, I personally recommend you use the phone, because you can chat with us, right? And you can send us a screenshot and upload it to chat. That way, person who's working with you can see, oh, okay, that's the thing, I got it, and then they can help you quicker. So that's kind of that's something I would do. I'm not saying it's the best idea ever. I'm just saying it may be useful for you guys. Yeah, you'll need 3 hands and stuff like that, but still, you can, just hit a quick screenshot and show what's going on. There is, of course, a language barrier still, even though we're trying to put up as many different language speaking agents out there. We're still hiring. We are now at 40 agents in Belgrade, somewhere around 10 in Kuala Lumpur. It's still growing as we promised, and it will. But again, language barrier may happen. So for language barrier, screenshots, pictures, videos are great. Somebody mentioned up there in the chat that we could do on validators, we could do a webinar, and I agree. And that's something we're going to do either next week or the week after that. So yeah, because there's another topic I would like to cover, most probably next week, which is regarding the new system of licenses, the software codes you receive about the license, how that stuff works, what will it do, how will you be able to use it, etc. As for the Alliance card, we will create batches of around 50 people. So batch by batch, 50 by 50 people will receive their virtual cards. And as Brian from Carta said, the physical cards will follow very soon. When we say very soon, we're talking about, then last information was somewhere around 8 weeks. Okay, does anybody maybe have any kind of a question, something we would like to add? You may use the chat box so everybody can see the question. By all means, we have some 6 to 10 minutes, so.
Pavle, may I speak? Ella?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Can you explain to us how does it actually work? Because if we send the question via email, then very often we get the right answer, that's fine, but sometimes we don't get right answer and we get sort of automated answer. And then it's difficult to get back into chat even via ticket, because we very often get email, we didn't hear from you for 48 hours. So how do we need to go about to go in a topic with one person or with one ticket?
Yeah, okay, thank you for that. Here's the thing, so what happens, I'm just gonna, explain what happens, under the hood, as they say. When you send us an email, we receive, literally like in our ticketing system, we receive that email, we see where it came from, who sent it, sometimes we see some information, but we see information like we may see, the link username to your NetLeaders. Not always, unfortunately. We're trying to tweak that up to be a bit more useful. Actually as useful as possible. Once that email lands in our inbox, the system shoots out the automated message to inform you that, yeah, everything is fine, we received the email. Because we do that just because for you to be sure that the email is received, that somebody is actually going to take care of it, is actually going to look at it. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes there are situations where the ticketing systems are weird, sometimes it may happen that we, answer straight up, it goes to your trash folder or your junk folder. And I'm literally getting nervous breakdowns from that stuff when I see that it's happening. And then I go to chat with the provider of the service, and then I become an angry customer, and so on and so forth. Here's the thing, here's the idea. If it happens that you believe that you sent the answer And then you get the second automated email after 48 hours. Why is it important for us to solve and close the issue? Statistics. So what you do from your inbox is just you click on send. What we do is we click on send and then we create the status of the ticket. So the status can be the ticket is open, the ticket is on hold, the ticket is pending, or the ticket is resolved or closed. 4 statuses. Pretty much simple. If the ticket is open, that means we need to answer that you guys were the last people sending the email. If the ticket is pending, which means we're pending for your response. So we sent you something and we're waiting for your response. Third status is on hold. On hold is used. Some people complained about, I don't want to be on hold. It's perfectly fine to be on hold. I know it doesn't sound like the most beautiful thing, but if something is on hold, that means we're checking with something what is going on. Maybe the issue is too complicated. We need to go back to the development team. We need to check something with them. It means we need some sort of an external help, and sometimes we need a bit more time. Now, tickets will only close by themselves or get resolved. So we don't resolve tickets manually. They get automatically resolved. Tickets will only get resolved after 48 hours if there was no response from customers' end. If the ticket is open or the ticket is on hold, it will never close, okay, until we make sure the issue is resolved. If it happens that you send the email, but you're getting the automated, like the automated message, hey, we didn't hear from you for 48 hours, blah, blah, blah. By all means, go to chat and start to chat and say, hey, guys, I sent you this, but you're sending me the automated email. All the agents on chat can see all the ticketing, all the tickets. They see the ticketing system as well. What they do is that's why you use the reference numbers of tickets. You give them the reference number of a ticket, which is at the bottom of every message of ours. You go there, say, hey, this should not go to this should not resolve because I sent the answer, you didn't receive it. People will, fix it for you immediately. That's the idea. Okay,
so to go back to support, saying, hey, this is ticket number, it was not solved, please.
Absolutely, this is your right. Because, guys, we will never ignore anyone. That's my policy. I came from Avast as a corporation, which is the biggest IT security company in the world. What I've learned and what I'm applying, I've learned there, right? In AVG first and then Avast. I work for both. There is no unanswered email. I don't care if it's 1,000 or 200,000. I don't care about it. There is no unanswered email. There is only unanswered chat, but that means we're offline. And that's why we're implementing bots when we are offline, because we sleep. We're trying to be as sleepless as possible. But on a serious note, if we're offline, the bots will, take all the points, take the message from you, give us a shout out. Hey, immediately when you go to a shift, the machine will tell us, hey, this is priority, this is waiting. So that's the idea. There is no unanswered ticket. If you didn't receive the answer, chances are it's a technical issue, and then we react.
Okay, and one more thing.
Yes.
I have a team in Czech Republic where those people don't speak English. So very often I'm dealing with support myself on behalf of these people. That's okay. That's no problem.
That's not a problem, but you can always consult us. So we can be in line regarding to say, hey, this is the official stuff. This is what we claim will work. You know what I mean? You recommend something and the validators don't explode. I'm just overreacting. So let's say validator explodes. You know what I mean? So if it's official stuff, it kind of gets a bit more serious. However, here's the idea. As far as I know, we have one person who is a Czech speaker. So I will have to check that. There are so many new people coming in, but one person from support is speak Czech language. Perfectly fine if somebody doesn't feel comfortable speaking in English to send us a message in Czech.
Oh, that's perfect. That's good to know. What's his name or her name?
I will have to check that, but I ran through cities. Trust me, we're hiring so many people. I cannot even figure out to try to meet with them, because that was last week. Again, I'm going to check that.
Yeah, that would help me enorm really, because I have big team.
Yeah, I'm going to check that, pun intended. So yeah, that's the idea. Okay, thank you.
Very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, probably have a question.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Please do.
Is it possible? I don't know whether the 48-hour automated system is cast in stone, but is it possible to consider? Because I find it very annoying that sometimes when you write an email, an issue has not been solved, and then they just send an email to tell you that they've not heard of you from you for 48 hours. So because of that reason, they've closed the ticket. Is it possible to include a process in between where you ask the client whether the issue has been resolved to their satisfaction? If not, then maybe get them to write you another email before you close the matter.
Yes, Alvin, thank you for the question. Exactly what I was mentioning. That should never happen. That scenario should never happen. So the scenario where you sent a question and people who work in support, they either have the answer or they need to search for the answer, hence the on hold status, right? There should be no scenario where people tell you, hey, we cannot fix it. Well, tough luck. See you next time. And they close the ticket. That should never happen. So if the ticket is closed or getting closed, or you get the automated message, I'm sorry, in the middle of the process, that can only mean that we didn't receive the answer, is that there's a technical difficulty. Again, that happens rarely. However, we reword the automated message. That would be one way, right? So we can reword the automated message saying, hey, was this helpful? We usually send you, that at the end of the line, you get that satisfaction rating. You may use that as well. So the ticket gets closed and you get the satisfaction rating. Were you satisfied with this? Do you have a comment to share? Nail it, share a comment. Hey, I'm not satisfied with this. Click on not satisfied with this, and this is why I'm not satisfied with this. We're going to react immediately. So again, if it happens that something is going on that like we are either ignoring the issue or anything, we don't. We never ignore any request from anybody. That's not the philosophy. I mean, if people would do that, they would, let's say that kind of mindset is not working with me. Let me put it
Can I ask you, sorry, one more thing is, what's the percentage of people that do click on either the satisfaction or non-satisfaction button?
Around 10%, but I would appreciate people to do that more. That's
yes,
something somewhere around 10%. Again, that is the something you can use to figure out the overall how your team works, right? So we have internal processes. Every agent, I grade every agent in the team. That's called quality control, right? But you can only because not everybody's going to give you a satisfaction rating. Not everybody's going to send that rating, so it's not relevant for individuals. But I use that statistics to see where my team is, if you know what I mean. So what do people?
And my point is that the reason, for instance, I don't use the satisfaction button is because I feel shut out already, because it comes after the email that tells me it's closed my matter. And then that's when they start asking you whether you feel satisfied or not. So I just decide not to follow up the matter in the most cases.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe you need to carry out some form of survey to just find out the reaction. Because I was talking to a couple of people, and from different countries, and the reaction is the same.
And you need
we could find a better way of communicating the same message without.
I absolutely agree. We can always improve. So can you send me by email the specific scenario, or actually the specific ticket? And then we can work it out together. I absolutely agree about that.
So, all right, we'll do that.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, question from Linda says, can each email reference the support ticket number? It does. When you go to the, at the end of the text of ours, there should be a line that says reference number for this ticket is 389. It's a 6-digit number in any case. Regarding the contact phone, WhatsApp, Telegram, something we can directly contact, video chat, please send me an email. Please send me an email and I'm gonna see what can I do about the video tutorial. Oh, okay. As far as I know, every response should generate a ticket number, but if it's otherwise, by all means, please send me the example. There is another thing you probably, some of you mentioned, and this may be linked to what Linda is saying. You probably, mentioned, you noticed, the tool itself, which is called the Fresh Desk, allows you to create your own profile on it. You probably got, some of you guys probably noticed that. As much as that is good, that much it isn't. For reasons that we noticed that people are creating their own profiles on Fresh Desk platform to see the status of their own tickets, which is perfectly fine. I'm not saying it shouldn't be done. However, it may create a lot of confusion regarding the ticket status, and then customers themselves are changing the ticket statuses. This is something we had to turn off, and because it creates a complete havoc with our statistics, and our statistics is very important for us to see where we are and are we doing a good job. So yeah, one thing is kind of an emotional with the satisfaction rating that people actually receive their responses, or the second part is actually the statistics, how many tickets are created, how many are resolved and stuff like that. That's why the tickets are getting resolved, for us to know what we're good at, what are we doing, and so on and so forth. We can, there are a couple of people actually who are members of the Telegram group. However, let me put it this way. Telegram group is a community group. So yes, it is an official DasCoin group, but it's an official community, okay? So it's not linked with us. Because if we make it official support tool, then we would go to the scenario where we need to guarantee for all the information that's displayed there, and we may all agree on this call completely honestly with each other that not all the information in the Telegram group is always controlled and correct. So we can observe the Telegram group, but we don't use it to answer questions, and we don't use it as a relevant, not irrelevant, it's a strong word, but we don't use it actually to fetch data from it. We just go to, ask us directly. That's the idea. We do observe it. We have people in it. Spies. Not really spies, but we do have people who are, listening to the field to see what's going on. That's definitely something that's going on. Again, we don't see it as the official. Now, I'm gonna make, again, a very specific difference. There's an official community and there's official support. So those are two things. They're not the same thing. Okay, as for the, regarding the validator software and firmware, again, please do send me personally an email. I'm gonna type it down one more time, and I'm gonna see what we can do for you specifically. Okay. Oh, sorry, I just actually, yeah, I sent that as a private, just a second, apologies. Shouldn't be a private message, here you go. So, by all means, if you experience something that is out of the ordinary, please do contact us back. Again, thank you everybody for the attendance. Yeah, we kicked off for almost 56 minutes, not bad. Next week, I think we're gonna go with something like the most probably the new license system or something like that. We're gonna see that meanwhile, and we're gonna of course inform everybody in due time. Please contact us back. Please share your feedback. Please do share with the support team. They're your friends. They're not the some sort of a third-party service. They're people who are here for you, to work, with you to resolve the issues you may experience. So all the questions, All the ideas are more than welcome. By all means, please do use knowledge base. If you believe that something should be fixed with knowledge base, again, by all means, please do share, because communication is the key, of course, for everything. Thank you again. I wish you a nice weekend, a nice, pleasant, actually, pleasant rest of the week, and I see you next Thursday. Peace out.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.